Hi everyone. I hope you are giving your GCSEs well. We have recently started a GCSE revision series where we are covering all the major subjects for you. Today we have come with a revision for Mathematics Paper 1 where we are going to solve the most frequently asked question that we have seen throughout the GCSE past papers. Okay, let's start then. For the first first question in front of us, we have expanding triple brackets. If you have gone through your past papers, you know that this type of question have been seen one too many times. So let us understand how we can do it quickly and efficiently. For doing this, the first step is we are going to choose the first two brackets, okay? So let us choose 2x plus 3 and 3x plus 4. So we are choosing 2x plus 3 and 3x plus 4. Perfect. Now, after choosing the first two brackets, we are going to multiply each term of the first bracket with each term of the second bracket. Let us understand what that means. What that means is, we first let us consider 2x, right? So for 2x, we have to multiply 2x with first 3x and then 4x. Okay, so let us start. So let us first multiply with 3x. So when we multiply with 2x with 3x, we are going to get a 6x square, right? So we have got a 6x square now. 6x squared. After that, we are going to multiply 2x with 4x and we are going to get an 8x. Fine, done. Now we are going to focus on the next term, which is 3. So let us see what will happen with 3. For 3, we are going to do the same thing. Let me use a highlighter. For 3 also, we are going to do the same thing. Okay. So as we did for 2x, we are going to multiply 3 first with 3x, then with 4. Okay. So if we do that, we are going to get, so 3x plus 3 is 9x and 3 plus 4 is 12, right? After doing this, we are simply going to simplify the entire thing. So after simplification, we are going to get 6x squared plus, so 8x and 9x, they are like terms, right? So they will add up to give me 17x and a 12, right? So 6x squared plus 17x plus 12 is the result of multiplication of the first two brackets, okay? After we have got the multiplication result, what we are going to do is we are going to multiply this result with the third bracket. So we are going to multiply 6x squared plus 17x plus 12, and we are going to multiply this entire thing with our third bracket, which is x plus 2. Okay, so let us again see what will happen. So for the first one, 6x squared will get multiplied with x and then 2, right? So it gets multiplied with x and 2, and we are going to get 6x to the power of 3, which is 6x cube, plus we are also going to get 12x squared, right? Done. After we are done with this, we are again going to move on to the next term, which is 17x. So let us multiply 17x now with x and 2. So 17x will get multiplied again with x here and then 2. Fine. We are going to get as a result 17x squared plus 34x. Okay. Now we are only left with 12. So let's do 12 now. But before doing that, let me do one thing. Okay, so now we are going to do for 12. So for 12, we are going to multiply again with x and again with the 2. So we are going to get 12x plus 24. Okay. After seeing this equation, can you see that here 12x square and 17x square, they are like terms. 34x and 12x, they are like terms. So whenever we see like terms, there's a possibility of simplification. So we are just going to simplify it. And after simplifying, it's going to become 6x cubed. If we add 12 and 17, we get a 29. So 29x square plus, if we add 34 and 12, we are going to get a 46. So 46x plus 24. Okay. So this is the answer. I hope you understood the procedure. The process is very simple. First, we take the first two brackets, we multiply it and get the answer. And with the answer, we again multiply the third bracket. And this is the process of multiplication. Okay, now we are going to move on to the next question. Okay, so we have been given a question on ratio. Let's read the question first. The question mentions that a shop has some small boxes, some medium boxes, and some large boxes, and there are a total of 600 boxes available, right? And out of the 600 boxes, it is said that 11 over 20 boxes are empty. Fine. Now, for the empty boxes, within the empty boxes, we have the ratio of small boxes to medium boxes, and that is given as 3 is to 3 to 2. And for the number of medium boxes to large boxes, there also exists one ratio, right? Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to find out the number of the boxes in the shop which are empty and medium, right? So this question looks a bit difficult, but it is not so. Let us try to understand how we can solve it. Okay, the first thing that we are going to solve is what is the number of empty boxes here? And we can calculate that directly with the help of our fraction. So it's 11 over 20 multiplied with 600, right? And that will give me 330. Done. Okay, so we are done with step 1. Now for step 2, as you can see, the middle box, right? It appears in both the ratios for the given question. But the interesting thing is the number for both the ratio for the middle box is different, right? So one has 2, another has 4. So what we have to do is we have to make the two numbers same. How we can do that? We are going to simply multiply the first ratio. We are going to simply multiply the first ratio's numerator and denominator with 2. Okay, because when we are going to multiply them with 2, the denominator becomes equal to 4, which is the same as this one, right? So my new ratio is for small boxes, and medium, we have 6:4. Okay. Now, after doing this, we are going to calculate the number of parts. How we are going to do that? For this, I just have to multiply. Sorry, I just have to add 3. I just have to add 6, 4 and 1 together. So 6 plus 4 plus 1 will give me 11, right? So 11 parts of all the boxes will make 330. So how many boxes are empty and medium? That means 4 over 11 into 330 will become the number of boxes which are empty and medium, right? That means 120 boxes in total are medium and empty. Right now we have another question, and this question is about surds, and surds are a very common topic for paper 1. Okay, so let's see what's the question. So first question is about rationalizing the denominator. It is very easy. Okay, whenever you see a denominator in a fraction which is a surd, we simply have to take the denominator, multiply it in the numerator and denominator, the same number. After that, in the numerator, I'm going to get root 3, and in the denominator, we are going to get root 3 multiplied by root 3, which will make root 3 over 3, right? So in a rationalized question, what happens is we are able to remove a surd from the denominator, right? Okay, now let us move on to the next question, which talks about simplifying this particular surd. Okay, okay, 1 minute, let's do something. Okay, I think it's going to be okay. For this question, what I'm going to do is I am going to split 45 into 8 components. What that does that mean? I am going to split 45 into its prime components. So 45 can be written as 3 multiplied with 3 multiplied with 5, right? And 20 can be written as 2 multiplied with 2 multiplied with 5, right? So after that, what we are going to see, we are going to find out which number for the respective terms have a pair, right? So can you see that 3 makes a pair and 2 makes a pair, right? So that means I can take 3 out of the square root sign, and I can also take 2 out of the square root sign. Done. After this, I can directly subtract them, okay? So I can subtract like 3 root 5 minus 2 root 5 is just root 5. That's it. Okay, now we are going to move forward with the next question, which is we have to add up two mixed fractions. For this type of question, you need to remember first thing that we have to do, we have to convert the mixed into improper fraction, right? So let's see how we can do that. So let's write the first term that is given to us. For converting it into improper fraction, we are going to multiply first these two numbers. So we are multiplying 3 and 4, and then I'm just going to add the number which is left behind, and the entire thing will be divided by 4, right? Which will be 12 plus 1 whole divided by 4, and it comes to 13 over 4, right? Now for the next number, For the next number, we are again going to do the same thing. So let's write it up. It's going to be 6 plus 2 whole over 3. Then it becomes 8 over 3. Okay, so now we have converted both our mixed fractions to improper fractions, right? After that, we are going to add them up. So we are going to add 13 over 4 plus 8 over 3. Okay, now can you see the denominators are not the same? So first we need to make the denominators same. So let's try it out how we can do that. So we are going to multiply 3 with both the terms, with both denominator and numerator for the first term. And we are going to multiply a 4 with both numerator and denominator in the next term, which is basically going to give me 39 over 12 plus 32 over 12, right? And after, if I add these two things up, I am getting 71 over 12 as my final answer. So the answer for this is 71 over 12. Okay, that's it. For the next question, we have to rearrange the formula where subject appears twice. Okay, so let us first read the question. The question says rearrange the formula, and we have been given a formula and we have to make x the subject, right? In the question provided to us, we can clearly see that right now q is the subject, right? So right now q is our subject, but we want to change it to x. So q is the subject right now. According to the question, q is the subject and we want to change it to x, okay? And according to the topic, the subject is appearing two times. What that means is, so our new subject, so x will be our new subject, right? So our new subject will be appearing two times in the question, which is x is appearing two times. Okay, for this type of questions, generally what we have to do, if the questions looks like this is the procedure that we have to follow. Now, the first thing is I am going to multiply both sides with denominator x minus 4 so as to remove it from the right side. Okay, so let's do it. So q is equal to 5 plus bx divided by x minus 4. So if I multiply both sides with x minus 4, I am going to get, let's see what I'm going to get. So I am going to get x q multiplied with x minus 4 and b plus bx plus 5 on the right side. Can you see that I have successfully removed the denominator x minus 4? So whenever we want to remove the denominator, we simply multiply it on both sides, right? Okay, after that what we are going to do, we are going to multiply and we are going to expand the left hand side. So let's expand. So it's going to be qx minus 4q and that will be equal to 5 plus bx, right? After doing this, our next process will be to collect the like terms. So can you see here the like terms is qx and bx, right? So what I'm going to do, you can either subtract bx from both sides or you can subtract qx from both sides, whatever you want. I am going to subtract bx from both sides, so let me do that. So I am going to subtract bx from both the sides. Done. After this, I am simply going to get qx minus bx equal to 5. There is another term, minus bx minus 4q is equal to 5, right? After doing this, I'm going to add pq on both sides because I want to remove pq from the left side, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to add 4q on both the sides. So let's do that. Fine, done. Let us continue from this side. So after this, we are getting qx minus bx equal to 5 plus 4q, right? After this, what I'm going to do, can you see that on the left side, x is present in both the terms. So we can easily factorize the x out and we are going to left with q minus b equal to 5 plus 4q, right? Okay, done. Now I want to express the entire equation in and make x the subject, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply divide q minus b on both sides. So let's divide q minus b on both sides. So it becomes 5 plus 4q over q minus b. This is the answer for x. So here what I did is I made x the subject. Okay, I hope it is clear. So the steps are, if the question looks like this, we first have to remove the denominator, then we have to expand the left side, then we have to collect the like terms, and at the end we are going to get the equation in terms, sorry, we are going to get the equation and x is going to be your subject. Okay, let's move on. For the next question, we have something called completing the squares. Okay, so for completing the squares, first read the question. The question says complete the square x square plus 8x plus 7. Hence, write the quadratic equation in the form of x plus a whole square plus b. So here we have to express and this entire thing in this particular form. Okay. So let us see how we can do that. So whenever you are given a question like this, the first thing that you can do is we are just going to consider the second term here. Okay. So we are just going to consider the term that has x. So here 8x is the term, right? That has x. Okay. After that, your a will be equal to 8 divided by 2. Okay. Given that the coefficient of x square is 1. Okay, remember this. Given that the coefficient of x square is 1, a will be 8 divided by 2, which is a 4. Done. After we have solved this part, what we are going to do is we are going to simply write the whatever question was given for us. So we are going to write x square plus 8x plus 7. Then we are going to add a square and subtract a square. Okay, we have to do both. So that will become 8x plus 7 plus 4 square minus 4 square. And that will become x square plus 8x plus 7 plus 16 minus 16. Done. Okay. Now the next trick is we have to see what is the sign of 8x. So can you see it's addition. So when we have addition, then let's see what we are going to do. So when we have addition, then we are going to take the plus 16 portion inside the bracket that we are making now and keep the minus 16 portion outside the bracket. And if this equation would have been something like this. So can you see right now what I just did, that I changed the sign over here to a minus sign before 8x, right? In this particular situation, what is going to happen, that the bracket that I am going to make, okay, I am going to include plus 16 here as well. Okay, so whatever happens, always the plus part goes inside the bracket and the negative part stays outside of it, right? Okay, now the next thing is we are going to write this in the form of x plus a squared. So x squared plus 8x plus 16 will get converted to x plus 4 to the power whole square, and this will become plus 7 minus 16, and as a result it's going to be minus 9. Okay, but if it would have been a minus sign like we are seeing in this particular situation, what will happen is we are going to replace the thing within the bracket as x minus 4. Remember this, see the difference between them. When the sign before 8x is negative, we are replacing it with x minus 4, and when it's positive, we are replacing it with x plus 4. Okay, so this is how the entire thing changes up. Fine. Okay, now we have got the part of completing the squares. Many a times they ask you to find the turning point. For finding the turning point of any quadratic, you basically have to complete the square, then you have to find the turning point. Okay, so my question for you is, can you find the turning point for this particular answer? For x square plus 8x plus 7, and give your answer in the chat box. Let's see. Fine, let's go to the next question now. Okay, the next question is about finding equation of a line. Okay, and let us read the question. So we have been given a graph, and as we can see, there is a line that is passing through the point 2 comma 3, and the question says that we have to find the gradient and the equation of the line which is shown above. Means we have to find the equation directly from the graph. Okay, now let us see how we can do that. So first let us concentrate on the gradient part. So for finding the gradient, the things that we need is, we need 2 points on the line. Remember here, this part is very important because you can choose any 2 point, does not matter, but they have to be on the line. Okay, since they have provided me with 2 comma 3, I am going to use that. If you want, you can use any other points, does not matter, but I am going to use this one, and I can also use this one. Okay, you could have also used this one, this one, this one, does not matter. This is the condition that you have to fulfill. The 2 points should be on the line. So let me just consider the two points that I have chosen. So I have chosen one point as 2 comma 3, and another point here is 1 comma 2. Right, so these are the 2 points that I have chosen. Let me write them down. So this 2 comma 3 and 1 comma 2. After this, we are going to use the formula for the gradient, which is nothing but y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now I have seen most of the students get confused when putting values in this formula, so I'm just going to help you with a very simple method. Okay, After writing down this formula, choose any one of the points. You can choose 2 comma 3 or you can choose 1 comma 2. Doesn't matter. So for my case, I'm just going to choose 2 comma 3. Okay. After choosing 2 comma 3, I'm just going to write down that my x1 is 2, my y1 is 3. Okay. Now I am going to choose the next point, means whatever point is left, I'm going to choose that, which is 1 comma 2, and I'm going to write that, x2 is equal to 1 and y2 is equal to 2. Okay. If you have chosen like this, if your answer looks like this, that you have chosen x1 as 1 and y1 as 2 and x2 as 2 and y2 as 3, this is correct as well. Okay. But what you cannot do is you cannot choose x1 to be 2 and y1 to be 2 as well. So we cannot mix up the points. Do not mix up points. This is very, very important. This is why maximum of the people, they get the sum wrong. They mix up the 2 points. Okay. So I'm just going to work with whatever points I have found out. So I'm going to work with the points which are written in yellow and red. So let's put them in the formula. For the formula, I'm going to put the value of y2 as 2 and y1 as 3. In the same way, I am going to put the value of x2 as 2. Sorry, x2 is 1. So x2 as 1 and y2, x1 as 2. So y2 is 2, y1 is 3, x2 is 1 and x1 is 2. Fine. Now after this, we are just going to find the difference. So it's 2. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. And divided by 1 minus 2 is also minus 1. So 1 minus 1 over minus 1 will result in 1, right? So we have found out that my gradient is 1 and the gradient is denoted by the symbol of n. This is very important. Gradient is denoted by the letter m. Okay, so we have found out the gradient now. Now we are going to find out the value of our equation. So if you know the equation of any standard straight line has two variables. Okay, let us write that down. How does the equation of a straight line look like? So for equation of a straight line, it's basically y equals to mx plus c, where m is your gradient that we have found out to be 1, that is equal to 1, and c is your y-intercept. Okay, we have got the value of m. So if we can somehow find the value of c, we are basically done with our equation, right? So let us see how we can do that. So y-intercept is the point on the y-axis where the line meets the y-axis. So it's the point on the y-axis where the line meets the y-axis. So the point where the line meets the y-axis is 0, 1, right? Yes. We are going to consider the non-zero part as the y-intercept. So we are going to consider 1 as our y-intercept. Okay, so your C becomes 1 as well. Okay, so your C is 1 as well. So your M is 1, your C is 1, and your equation looks like y is equal to mx. So in place of m, we are going to just write 1x, and in place of c, we are also going to write a 1. So basically, it will become x plus 1. Because 1 multiplied with x is just x and 1. Okay, so this is your equation. Done. Now we have a sub part of this question in the next question. Okay, so we are going to continue this question. Let's see what's the next question. The next question deals with parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Okay, so let's read the question first. Let me tell you, this is nothing but a sub part of the previous question that we did, because if you see both the graphs are the same, we just have some extra information in this particular question, right? So let us read the question first. The question says the graph below shows two lines L1 and L2, and there is a point 2 comma 3. A line passes through the point 2 comma 3 and is parallel to L2. So this line that is passing through 2 comma 3 is parallel to L2, the line that is named L2. So L2 is this green line. Okay, let me do one thing first. Let me name the line that is passing through 2 comma 3 as L0. Okay, so we have named the line, the black line, as L0. Fine. So L0 and L2 are parallel. So L0 is parallel to L2. Done. After that, the next part of information that has been provided to us is, and this particular line is also perpendicular to L1. So perpendicular means what? That they make a 90 degrees. So L0 and L2, they make a 90 degree to each other, right? L0 and L1, they are perpendicular to each other. So let me write that piece of information as well. L0 is perpendicular to L2, often represented like this. Sorry, L1. So sorry, it's going to be L1. So they are to L1. Okay, done. Now there is a formula for finding the gradients. Okay, first let us read the question. So the next part says that we have to find out the gradient of both L1 and L2, right? So for finding the gradients of both L1 and L2, what we have to do is basically we have to use. Now we have to find the gradient of L1 and L2, and for finding the gradient we basically have to use the formulas which relates the gradient of parallel and perpendicular line. Okay, so when two lines are parallel, their gradient is the same. Suppose L0 has a gradient of M0 and L2 has a gradient of M2. So M0 and M2 are the same. Yeah. And if you remember, I told you this is a subpart question, right? And these two questions are the same. Yeah. So in this question, we found out that this particular line through 2 comma 3 had a slope of 1. So obviously M0 also has a slope of 1 and M2 also has a slope of 1. Done. Now for perpendicular lines. So let us consider that the slope or the gradient of L1 is M1. Okay. The formula is M1 is equal to minus 1 over M0. Okay. Now for finding M1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply replace M0 with the value. So minus 1 divided by 1, which results in minus 1. Okay. So the slope of L1 is minus 1, or the gradient of L1 is minus 1 and the gradient of L2 is 1. I hope you understood this one. Okay, now we are going to go to the next question quickly, and this is about angles in parallel line. And here, okay, there's a small mistake. Let me correct this. We have to find x. So they are saying that these are the two angles and we have to figure out what is the value of x from the figure. Okay, this pair of angles, right over here they are equal, right? Because of a property of angle, and they have a special name. So this angle pair, they have a special name. Can you name that pair for me? Can you write the name of that pair in the chat box for me? Okay, so let us try. So 5x plus 7 is equal to 37, right? So what we are going to do? We are going to subtract 7 from both the sides. So 37 minus 7. We are now going to get 5x is equal to 30 and x. Now for the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both the sides by 5. So I'm going to get x is equal to 6. Okay. This was the easy question. Let's see the next one. Okay, this is a very interesting question, and this type of question often comes in paper 1 and is very famous. Okay, for this type of problems, what you have to figure out is whether you want to calculate the area or you want to calculate the perimeter. Okay, so for this particular question, let's read the question first. The question says that the diagram shows the plan of a garden. So this figure is plan of a garden, and the gardener wants to place grass over the whole garden area. So they have like mentioned that you have to find out the area, right? So the gardener, basically the person, wants to like put grass all over here, right? Fine. Now the gardener has 4 rolls of grasses, and each roll can cover 12 meters square. So if the gardener has 4 rolls of grass and they can cover 12 meters square, can you tell me how much area can they cover in total? So it's going to be 4 multiplied by 12, which is 48 meters square. Done. Now the next part says that determine whether the gardener has enough grass to cover the entire garden. You must show all your workings and all the angles are in degrees, right? 90 degrees. So what does that mean, the last statement? Let's see that first. So whenever they say that all the angles are mentioned in 90 degrees, that means any angle that you can see is basically 90. Any angle that is formed is 90 degrees. All these are 90 degrees, okay? So whenever we want to find this type of problems, the first thing that we have to do is we have to find out all the missing sides of the figure. So can you spot any missing side? Yes, you are correct. This particular side and this particular side are the missing sides, and we are not given the dimension of these two sides. So what we are going to do, we are going to find those sides using the data that we have been provided. Okay. So we are first going to figure out the length of this particular side. Okay, let me just point it out. We are going to find the length of this side first. Okay, how we are going to do that? We know the length of this particular side, right? It's 8, and we also know the length of this particular side, which is 5, right? Let me write it in a. So we know this particular side and we know this particular side, right? Don't you think? So this is also 8, this is 8, and this is 5. Can you tell me how much is remaining then? Obviously, the remaining part is 8 minus 5 is equal to 3. So 3 is remaining. So the length of one of the missing sides is 3 meters. Okay, so let us write that down. So it's going to be 3 meters. Done. Now we are going to find the length of the other side, which is this one. Okay, how we can find it out? We know the length of this particular side, which is 10, and we also know the length of this particular side, which is 6. So what is the length of the rest of it? It's going to be 10 minus 6 equal to 4 meters. So we have got both our missing sides. Can you see that? Great. So we have got both the missing sides. Now, after getting both the missing sides, we are going to figure out the area that the figure makes. Now, as you can see, the figure is very weird looking, right? Okay, so whenever this type of figure is given, we have to try to break it into simpler figures whose area formula we know. So if we clearly see that this particular figure can be broken down into two rectangles, right? If we divide it like this, so this is rectangle 1 and this is rectangle 2. Yeah, so we can separately find the areas of the two rectangle and then add it up. So let's do that. So area of rectangle 1 is nothing but we have to multiply this 2, right? Because that's length and breadth, or length or width. We get 48. Then the area of the rectangle 2, this is the area, right? So for this, can you see that the length and breadth are 5 and 4? Can you recognize that? Which makes a 20. The total area becomes 68 meters square, right? Now you tell me the answer. Is the grass provided by the gardener enough for covering this particular garden? The answer is no. Why? Because the area that we have is way greater than the amount of grass or the area that can be covered by the 4 rolls of grass, right? So the answer is no. The gardener does not have enough grass to cover the entire garden. Always remember one thing: whenever you are doing sums, you have to show all the process. And for this type of question where you have to draw a conclusion, you have to write the entire sentence. Now we do the next question, which is finding vector path. I have seen students often struggle with this type of questions where they have to find out the vector path. So I have come up with a very easy way to find out this type of solutions. Okay, so first we are going to see what vectors are we provided. So we have been provided with the vector CB, whose value is Z, and we have also been provided with the vectors BA, and its value is Y, right? And now let's read the question. The question says that we have to find AC in terms of Z and Y. Okay, so we have to do this. Now, how we can achieve this thing? So, whenever you have to find AC, right, you have to think that you are traveling from this point. So, you're starting from here. So, this is your starting point and this is your destination point. Okay, so you have to start from that point and go to C, right? But you do not have any direct path. So you do not have any path from A to C. We cannot go from A to C like this, okay? So we do not have any direct path from A to C. Okay, so no direct path from A to C. So if you do not have a direct path, what you can do? You can take a longer path, right? Because direct path would have been the shortest, but we can just go around, right? So what we can do, in order for me to reach from A to C, I can first go to B in this direction, right? And after that from B I can go to C from following this direction. Yeah, good. Now see one thing very clearly. The vector BA has a direction in the opposite side that we are trying to travel, right? The same goes for the vector CB. It also has a direction opposite to the direction that we want to travel in. Yeah. So what can we do? So let us do one thing first. Let us write that for me to go from A to C, first I need to go from A to B, then I need to go from B to C, right? Now I have to go from A to B, and don't you think that that is basically the reverse of B to A? So A to B is nothing but the reverse of B to A, and similarly we have to go from B to C, and that is the reverse of C to B, and we have the values of BA and CB, right? So we are just going to replace the values. Okay, so AC is nothing but minus y minus z. I hope you understand, and vector path problems are nothing but this. Okay, so they may make the problem a little bit more difficult, but if you follow this particular way you can solve maximum of them. Okay, now this was our final question. Now, for before ending today's session, I would like to wish all the people who are giving the GCSE right now best of luck from the team of O Tutor. And some suggestion from my side is always show your working. Always show your working. When you are doing some, do not skip your steps. And remember to revise the topics and solve some past year questions. Bye bye.